WWE Libraries Incorporated is a WWE-owned subsidiary that consists of the largest collection of professional wrestling videos and copyrights in the world. It's not only past and current works by WWE, but also the works of promotions which are now defunct, dating back to the 1940s. And as of 2014, the library has 150,000 hours of content, including television shows, pay-per-views, and recorded house shows. The collection represents a large portion of the visual history of modern professional wrestling in the United States as well as Canada. WWE's ownership of the largest collection of pro wrestling media includes some items that are lost or will never see the light of day due to the nature of the footage. In this episode of Wrestling Connect, we're going to examine 5 pieces of wrestling media which is not available for public consumption. WWF In Your House 8 Beware of Dog was a wrestling pay-per-view event produced by the WWF, now the WWE. The first broadcast was on May 26, 1996 at the Florence Civic Center in South Carolina, headlined by WWF World Heavyweight Champion Shawn Michaels versus the British Bulldog. The event also featured 5 matches, including a singles match between Mark Merrow and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, now known as Triple H, Vader versus Yokozuna, and a Caribbean strap match between Savio Vega and Stone Cold Steve Austin, plus an Intercontinental Championship match between Goldust and The Undertaker. At first, this broadcast went off without a hitch, with Mark Merrow versus Helmsley being the first match on the card. Merrow ultimately became victorious. However, during the introduction of the next match, which was the Caribbean strap match, and Savio Vega's entrance, a thunderstorm caused a power outage throughout the entire arena, as well as knocking out the pay-per-view feed. The live feed returned with a black screen. Then Vince McMahon, who was working color commentary, notified viewers of the power outage and assured them that the event was going to return online as soon as it was available, or a new pay-per-view would be airing the following Tuesday. The WWF was not successful in fully restoring the power and the feed of the other matches. This meant that the strap match, as well as Vader versus Yokozuna and Goldust versus The Undertaker, were not broadcast on pay-per-view. Nonetheless, all 3 matches did take place during the blackout with help from a low-power generator and battery-operated cameras. However, the generator only made the matches barely visible to the audience, and by the time WWF officials reviewed the footage after the event, it was decided that the matches would not be okay for broadcast and a replay show for quality reasons. Instead, another event, Beware of Dog 2, was produced 2 days later after the original in North Charleston Coliseum, which was free for all viewers that purchased the pay-per-view on the 26th. And now the original pay-per-view was not seen afterwards, likely because the untelevised matches were believed to be inferior in both wrestling and broadcast quality compared to the rematches. The footage that remains of the strap match consists of Vega's entrance prior to the blackout, and a brief snippet of the match itself is available online, but the full match has yet to resurface. The other matches, although recorded in some fashion, have no footage that is accessible to the public currently. In late 1997 and 1998, World Championship Wrestling held 6 special wrestling events that were broadcast exclusively via the WCW.com website. These events were audio only, and WCW commentator Tony Schiavone provided a play-by-play of each show. Saturday Nitro and Battle in Seattle were both free events on the website. The remaining 4 were internet pay-per-views, and they were audio streams. The 6 events in total included WCW Saturday Nitro, WCW Battle in Seattle, WCW Boston Brawl, WCW Malice at the Palace, WCW Profiles in Pain, and WCW LA Melee. These events were not recorded by WCW themselves, and thus far were never released on video. Recordings of fans present at the event exist for several of the matches. However, the audio streams have not surfaced since. When WCW was purchased by the WWE, trademarks, wrestler contracts, and the entire video library was acquired, but it is unknown if WWE is in possession of these internet-only streams from 1997 to 1998. In 1986, Hulk Hogan, then WWF World Heavyweight Champion, and Jake the Snake Roberts were scheduled to have a major feud, and Jake Roberts invited Hulk Hogan to an interview segment on his Snakepit talk show. What happened there was Jake Roberts used his finishing move, the DDT, laid Hulk Hogan out in order to begin this feud. At the time, Jake the Snake Roberts was a heel, and Hulk Hogan was a babyface. WWF owner Vince McMahon was by the curtain after Roberts attacked Hulk Hogan, and he wanted to gauge the reaction of the fans. Instead of the fans cheering for Hulk Hogan as planned, the fans started chanting DDT, supporting Jake Roberts instead of Hulk Hogan. Because of this reaction, the footage of Roberts DDTing Hogan and the planned feud, intended to be nationwide, was canceled. The two did meet at various times on live events after that taping, and it is believed that Roberts DDTing Hogan was aired in different markets to set up that bout. Unfortunately, that footage has yet to be seen or released since, and it is thought that only select markets were shown that footage of Jake Roberts DDTing Hulk Hogan, and as of right now, WWE has yet to release that footage. On October 5th, 1999, Darren Drozanov's life would change forever following a match against D'Lo Brown during a taping of WWF SmackDown. The match carried on as planned, but at the end, a finisher, which was D'Lo Brown's powerbomb, would end up paralyzing Droz, as the powerbomb was incorrectly executed. Although Droz does admit to this day that his shirt was loose, so Brown couldn't get enough grip, but Droz did end up landing on his neck, fracturing 2 vertebrae. He was rushed to the hospital. He had surgery, which did save his life, but he remained a permanent quadriplegic. The match was taped in its entirety, but because the venue was WWF SmackDown, the match was taped before its airing, giving the WWF time to edit out any inconsistencies and edit out the match. However, there is a little bit of footage of Droz being taken out on a stretcher, which has been seen on WWE's Don't Try This at Home public service announcements. Currently, to this day, the footage is stored in the WWE archive with instructions never to view, copy, or destroy. On May 23rd, 1999, Owen Hart fell from the rafters of the Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri, during a pay-per-view taping of WWF Over the Edge in 1999. The filmed fatal accident occurred while doing a stunt where he was lowered into the ring by a harness as he was playing his Blue Blazer persona before an Intercontinental Championship match against The Godfather. He was supposed to unlatch his harness when he was a few feet above the ring, causing him to fall flat on his face in a comedic fashion, but the harness was accidentally unlatched prematurely, causing Hart to fall 24 meters, chest first onto the top rope, flinging violently into the ring. The impact of the fall severely wounded him, and he later died in the hospital, a blunt force trauma to the chest. The fall did not occur on the live pay-per-view broadcast, but during an interview with Hart as a Blue Blazer, which was recorded in a backstage area earlier, once the cameras cut back to the arena, ring announcers Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross explained to the audience what was happening and that the arena's cameras were pointed away from the ring in respect to the paramedics working to stabilize his condition. The event was postponed for 15 minutes before WWE CEO Vince McMahon made the decision to continue the event. 1 hour after the event resumed, Lawler and Ross appeared on camera and delivered the news that Hart had passed away from his injuries. Since WWF cameras were rolling at the time, footage of Hart's fatal fall does exist on tape. This was confirmed in a column written by former WWF announcer Kevin Kelly back in May 2013. Kevin Kelly states that the tape sits in the WWF archive in Stamford, Connecticut, with the instructions never to destroy, view, or duplicate. WWE did decide to upload the pay-per-view Over the Edge back when the WWE Network launched in February 2014. The pay-per-view is available on the service, but is edited not to include the aftermath of the fall and the announcement of Hart's death by Jim Ross. To this day, no footage of the incident has surfaced online.